Oh yeah, my friends, nothing like a nice tight deck of Bin Wang playing cards. The only deck that keeps cards inside no matter how hard you try to pull the cards out. Some would say that a trick like this made them join ISIS, but that's a different story altogether. I guess for this we're going to have a deck of cards that's thoroughly mixed, and we're going to have some cards picked. In this case, at random, the participant is instructed to touch any card that calls out to them. For some reason, a 3 is a card that decided to yell out their name, as was a 4 and maybe a 10. And let's go full equal opportunity and give it to another black. That's right, the 9 of clubs. So these are freely selected by any participant. And these cards are going to actually help us out with a little experiment that we have to come, sir. These 4 cards are actually going to help us out because we're going to use these cards to show you and demonstrate a technique that cheaters would use. So these cards are just going to represent magician's inability to create unique pattern. And the 9 is going to be, well, the card that we deem the most valuable in our imaginary game of poker. So believe it or not, this card is actually going to be the one that has it all. What does that mean? Does that mean that this card holds the potential to have a well-meaning and fulfilling relationship? No, it just simply means that if I snap my finger in front of it, well, it changes into the ace of spades. But not just that card, my friends. Each and every single one of these cards changes into an ace, thus proving that magicians will never ever see even the shape of a woman naked. Whoa. Oh, so you like that, don't you? I know you do. I know how you think. I'm one of you. I'm a dirty, disgusting magician as well, and I know that you want to learn how you could do that trick. Well, guess what? I'm going to show you here, right? Other magicians would shill things, would plug things, would have sponsor breaks. Like, for example, I could say that you could join the PigCake Magic Academy, where $5 a month gets you 2 videos every single week going over card and coin stuff, and you get access to over 1,000 videos already. And every single week I upload 4 videos because that's 2 additional tutorials that I put there that I don't post anywhere else. What? Join it. But not me. I don't do that. I just go straight to the trick. And here you're going to need a couple things. You're going to need a deck of playing cards. In this case, I'm using a deck of Bin Wang playing cards. The reason I use this deck is because people like to complain and moan and say, oh, look, Piggy, I don't have access to good playing cards in my country. Well, guess what? How about you move to America? JK, I don't mean that. We don't want you here. But it's not about the cards. These are terrible playing cards. They have a cancer plastic finish. The cards don't even spread well. They're gross. They're pretty much inflated beyond the point of my fat phobia kicking in. But I'm still using them and still showing you that they're able to be used because of my immense technique and my practice. So it's not about the cards, it's about the practice. So we're going to have the 4 aces in the back here. They're going to be there in the back, and that's going to be our only setup. Of course, that's a secret. We don't want the participants to know that, nor do we want them to know about the break that we hold right there separating the entire deck from those cards. This is what we call an advanced technique. This is an advanced card trick, so I suggest, I don't know, checking out the academy, right? Getting them skills. And here what we're going to do is we're going to have 4 cards picked. Now, as these cards are picked, we're talking about switching techniques or our latent homosexuality. But either way, we're going to lead to the conversation about gamblers' techniques in cheating at poker. And while we're doing that, we're actually going to get ready for a wonderful switch known as the no-lap switch. And this is just a simple way of switching these 4 cards for those aces. You see that? Nice little bit of a flare there when it came to my lens focusing, but you get what I mean. So we're going to have the participant touch 4 cards, or we could just take them out ourselves. And here what we're going to do is we're just simply going to reach in with our fingers like this and pull. Now here's what's going to happen. These cards, because there's a separation, look what's going to happen. Those cards are going to go along for the ride. So as I pull these cards out of the deck, these cards are going along for the ride. But it just looks like I'm taking these cards and separating them from the deck. But as I'm doing that, look at what's happening here. Those cards are being added on top of the aces. So now when I place the deck on top and I turn everything to a face down position, it looks like I just stripped out those cards. But look, my friends, half the job is already done. Those aces are already on top of the deck. What? Didn't see that coming, huh? Neither did I. Neither did I. Nor did I see my uncle coming. So now, guess what? I could take these cards and spread them off. As I say, these cards are going to be part of our demonstration. And as I'm doing that, I'm getting another break. Lots of breaks, baby. Lots of breaks here. But I'm getting a break, so now when I square these cards up and lift them all up, I'm actually lifting up 5 cards and not 4. I'm a little liar, my friends, because I'm deceiving them. They think I'm holding 4 cards. Really, I'm holding 5. So that makes me a little bit of a liar. I'll tell you what's not little, though. My penis. But here now, what we're going to do is we're going to spread off 1, 2, and then 3 cards, and then hold these 2 cards as 1. So these last 2 cards, we're actually holding them together as 1. So we could spread these cards like this and show them to just be 4 cards. And here, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn over those 2 cards on the bottom. So you could do this in whatever way you want. You could just turn these cards over in your hand. But I like doing this because it makes me look like I've, well, practiced way too much. And now here's the other move of the trick. As I'm demonstrating this card, I'm just going to push this card in the back. Remember, this is 2 cards being held as 1. So now, when I use my dirty fingers to push this card to the back, I'm actually squaring it up with the rest of the pile here. So now I could take this card out by itself singly and place it in-jogged towards me. In-jog is a fancy way of just saying towards me. And now we're going to get ready for a color change. Now this is a fairly simple color change. All that I'm doing is putting my finger up here and pulling back on that single face down card. Now here, without cover, this is what's happening. That's it. That's all that's happening. But if you want, you have a couple of ways of covering this particular move. Again, all I'm doing is just using my finger to pull back on that card and gonna pull it and square it up with that other card that's in-jogged towards me. One way of doing this that makes it look nice is by just waving your hand like that. So you could just wave it and use your dirty little thumb to make sure that those cards are square, as you have a little bit of a magic gesture here. Again, I warn you against too much magic gay hands, but for this color change, it's worth it because, well, it just looks like as you rub the card, it changes into the ace. And again, all I'm doing is just pushing that bottom card and squaring it up. But if I use this hand as cover, as I do that, it has a nice little effect where it looks like the card changed as I waved. Another option is to snap as you do the color change, so that when you snap your finger, all I'm doing is just using my finger to push in that card and square it up. And now that actually changes color as well. So you could just snap, time it well, and look at that. It looks like the card changes and all the ladies are just gonna throw their panties at you. Another fun way is without cover. So you could just do it like this and just shake the card, and as you shake it, that's when you do the pushing technique with your finger. So there are many ways to skin a cat, but there's only one way to skin your grandmother. And now guess what? Look at this. We could turn these cards over and show them all to have changed into the aces, and now we could proceed with whatever trick we want. Of course, we have to ditch this card, but I'll leave that up to you. If you want, you could incorporate it into a trick. Maybe do something like you go, oh, look, I have 4 cards here now, right? So if I take, for example, the ace of clubs and I put it away in my pocket, of course, that leaves me with just 3 cards. That leaves me with just 3 cards, right? Until I do the little move. This is the little move right there, right? And look, if I just give it a little bit of, just a little bit of extra added umph, now that card comes back. See, we have 4 cards, and believe it or not, the ace of clubs has made its way back. And now I could show you a different trick with the 4 aces, and how to make yourself ejaculate, but without touching yourself. So that was kind of a cool trick, right? That was kind of a fun one, using the 4 aces and a nice little color change. You could play around with different ways to do it. How fun is that, my friends? Card magic doesn't have to be hard. Magicians really make it seem like it's harder than it is because, well, they just want attention on themselves. But don't fall into that trap. As usual, I like to leave you guys with a little bit of advice at the end of the video. And my advice for this video is to, I don't know, get up, walk around, stop being fat. It's time for you to make changes in your life that, well, are going to be positive, unlike the many negative changes you make every single day. So please, make a difference.